Hello, everybody. My name's Mark. Um, I want to talk about how faithful and good God is and how good He's been to me, like my whole life. Like ever since I was born, He's always been there. He's always been pursuing me. He's never stopped messing with me. It's just been like, He just keeps messing with me. And I'm very thankful for it. Like it's a good thing. It's so awesome. Just my whole life, my parents' life, he messed with them like this. He's pursuing every single one of us right now. Like, and he's not stopping. Like, he never stops pursuing all of us. And it's on us whether we accept or reject him. And like, my whole life, up until 5 years ago, I was rejecting God. 5 or 6 years ago, I was rejecting him. And still in my rejecting him, he was still pursuing me. It's just been so good. I grew up in like a broken home. My parents, they did their best. They took me to church. But my mom always struggled with drugs and alcohol. My dad did the same. A history of abuse in our families and stuff. It was just a messed up deal. They tried because Jesus was reaching out to them. So I was raised in church off and on. Like they did their best, and I understand. But at some point in time, they stopped. They rejected. They turned away from God. So it's always been an example to me, like, don't do that. Like, because God's still pursuing them. Even though they've turned away from him, like, he's still there. I'm sure he still messes with them, but people can harden their hearts so much sometimes to God that they may not be able to hear him as well anymore. They don't want to hear it because it's too hard. It's hard being Jesus' friend sometimes because he doesn't put up with nothing. He's a good friend. He doesn't enable you. He doesn't let you do whatever you want. He's like, no. But even in that, like, he loves us, and he loved me when I had turned from him. Like, I knew who he was because I was introduced to him by my parents, and I'm thankful for that. But I had to make a choice at a point in time to say yes to Jesus. And it was after I reached a point of brokenness where I had dropped myself through like consequences of my own and choices that I made, and I felt like that dead dog, and I was laying there. I got into the drugs and the party and the alcohol, and I did drugs with my mom and stuff like that, but I was at a point at a time about 7 years ago where I was on the ground. I was a mess, metaphorically on the ground. I mean, I'm sure I was crying on the ground too sometimes, but I woke up one morning after like a party and I was alone in my apartment, and I just felt like a deep feeling of like aloneness. Like everybody's gone. Nobody cares, because when you're in that kind of scene and that environment in the college party scene, like people want to use you and abuse you for themselves. Like it's all about me in that kind of atmosphere. People will take advantage of you, and when you don't have any money or any drugs or any alcohol, everyone will desert you because they're always looking out for themselves. And I was learning that the hard way. I was always a worker. I like working. But it was just, I woke up one morning and I just felt so alone, and I felt like that dead dog that Derek was talking about, how Mephibosheth was saying he was. And like Jesus, in his goodness in pursuing me, like in that song we were singing, I was crying about it tonight because it was like, in this fortunate events, like he reaches out and like he calls us to be his friend. Like in my mess, like Jesus reached out his hand to me as he always has been, as he's doing to every one of us, and he's asking like, do you want to be my friend? Do you want to be, I want to be your friend. And I was like, yeah, duh. Please, I need you. I didn't say duh, but it's like an obvious, like, yes, please, God, I need you. So I began this friendship with God, and I haven't been the best friend to God, but he's always been so good to me. Like, he's always faithful to pursue me and to love me and care about me, and not enable me and let me get away with things, but to hold me accountable and to pursue me and to love me, even in my mess and even in despite of myself. So yeah, I just want to encourage you guys, like, if Jesus is messing with you, don't ignore it. Don't say no. It's one of the best things you could ever do with your life is to say yes to Jesus. It's been amazing. This month is like my 5th year of sobriety, no drugs or alcohol. Like, he set me free. Like, I've been delivered. Like, he changed my mind and my heart about things. Like, it's just crazy what God can do in your life if you let him. So I just want to encourage y'all, say yes if he's messing with you. Thank you.